Welcome, episode 203. We're just gonna dive right on in.
I was gonna say, sure, go ahead. Well, I'll just mark that as
Yeah.
my rocking back into it. There you go.
Just do it as like a prelude.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all sorts of dating since that's the whole season right now. And I think a lot of it has to do with it's winter is slowly coming in, you know, right before fall's cuddle
And
season.
we need another heat source.
Yeah.
Heating oil is expensive.
Right. I'm tired of washing all these blankets.
Of course, you're in Phoenix area, so you don't have cold for you is it's a chilly 82 degrees today.
The hell it's not. It's cold as shit today. Like, I don't know. The heat was like, nah, bye.
No.
No, we're out. It's like it is. It's like in the 50s, I think, today. It's cold. 68, and that's colder.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the
we
mountains.
are 50 degrees is what we're at.
Yeah.
Of course, I like that because I'm well insulated. So for me, this is right up my alley.
I think below 75, it should be all wrong. Turn on the heaters.
I don't know. See, I love blankets. So it's like, oh, it's cool. I get a blanket, just curl up and then start drooling.
Right. And I don't get nothing done.
You know, because nothing quite says charming. Yes, buddy. Not right now. Tonight you can. For right now, I want you to go get some water. All right. Love you. Okay. It go ahead. It's weird to even think about putting on a dating profile. Favorite things to do: drooling while undercovers. Because some might say, "Is that a sexual term?" No, I just like cuddling and sleeping, and you know, and yeah.
Then wake up with a white trail on my face. I know it was good. I'm a solo person, but everybody knows it, so there's nothing freaky going on. It's literally just dried up slobber.
That's where you're going. You wake
my
up.
own slobber.
Did I give consent in my dream? What the hell did I dream about? I'm so confused.
I don't know about that one. It's been a while since I've had a wet dream.
Well, I've woken up drooling, if that counts.
Yeah, but what were you drooling about? You could have seen a really nice cheesecake.
I probably could have. Hey, look at that segue you just did. Look at you. How'd you do that?
I like food. It always goes back to food.
Tacos. Oh, tacos. Gotta love tacos.
Tacos are amazing. There's a variety of tacos. Breakfast tacos, sausage tacos, bacon tacos, cheese and potato tacos, chili tacos.
And the obligatory fish tacos. There, I said the joke. Everybody happy now?
See, that one could go both ways.
That's what she said. Anyways, all these innuendos, because today we're doing a reaction video, folks. Amber messaged me a couple days ago and said, I know the video I'm going to show. And I then like, okay, I'll wait. So I have not seen the video yet. I have it pulled up. And it's Woman Rejects Cheesecake Factory for her first date. Now, what's interesting to me about this is, first and foremost, I've not even seen this video, but I have seen lists going around of, top 20 places women refuse to go to on first dates.
We're going to talk.
And I maybe should have read the list. I didn't, because I'm going, I'm not dating, so what the fuck do I care? Which is awfully arrogant, I recognize. But to the same end, it then got me thinking, at just looking at the title of, where wouldn't I take a woman out to eat? And, Hooters probably wouldn't do that. The strip club, I haven't been to one ever in my life, so probably wouldn't do that.
The story about a strip club.
Yeah. They're and corporate. Dating. Did you know that?
And anyway. Dating, nonetheless. That'll be another episode.
We're just setting up episode after episode. So what we're going to do is this. Amber has seen the video. She has commented. She has passed it around to several already, and they've all made comments. I have not. So hang on. Yes? What? To my office. Love you.
Thank you.
The fucker knew what he was doing. And I can't have pineapple in this house. I'll giggle at it every time. So no, I can't because yeah. So anyways, so what we'll do is we will I'm going to start the video here. I'm going to share my screen so that Amber can see it as well too. And she can watch my reactions, you know, because frankly, who doesn't want to see me react? I think I'm worth watching personally. I'm better than cable. And as we go through this, it's 10 minutes. I'm sure I'll be taking notes because I do and everything. We'll have a conversation, and yeah, it should be quite an interesting episode, I suspect. All right, so share screen. Boop, boop, boop. Let's go full screen and do this. Here. Okay. Amber, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. And for those who have already seen this, just what this, remember, this is a reaction from Lee and then our discussion afterwards, because I love to hear everybody's opinions on situations like this.
But I'm very entertaining. Okay, here we go. In 3,
okay, let's
2,
go.
1.
Woo. Let me just get the door for you.
Okay.
He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. So
yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date? Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I
At the
went
Cheesecake
into this
Factory?
date as I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, you know, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but I mean,
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least, you know.
What did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, like, even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
I don't know you.
I can respect that. I can respect that. Okay. When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too.
Yeah, we're not again. I don't know yet.
Okay. And then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself
there's
all made
nothing
up.
wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, well look at
look
at my planner where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See, I specifically told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 p.m. Right? And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late, and like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment, and that is not possible.
And that's why I'm thinking, okay, if we're not there in the relationship to, meet at your apartment, then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice, fancy restaurant as Aria. Especially if I'm paying for the whole thing. Which I'm still willing to do. I would have been. Okay. But if we're late, I told you twice.
Late. It wasn't that late.
We literally left your place at the time the reservation was supposed to be. And I specifically said 4 because maybe we could get there early and even have some time to get to know each other on the way there and while we're in the parking lot. Waiting for a reservation.
We can still get to know each other. Isn't there another restaurant you can call that?
No,
the equivalent
no,
to
he
that?
knows what he needs to know. He's done.
Look at me. I cannot go to Cheesecake Factory.
Fuck off.
There's nothing wrong with
I will die. That's embarrassing.
No, you're embarrassing right now.
Said, I have very specific certain expectations for that. I can tell it's not gonna be there.
Yep. Ask her to get out of the car.
Maybe we're not
get
right
the fuck out of the car.
So, respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm up.
So, you just want to call it a night? Isn't there some kind of compromise or something?
No.
Ladies, can you believe this?
Yes.
I'm sorry, y'all.
He's out the parking space.
If I don't feel respected, I'm not gonna go.
The fact that he's driving you home is stunning to me.
You are serious. You really leaving?
Yeah. You didn't want this place anyway, right?
I understand that I was late. I understand that. I understand that I could have been a bit more cooperative. You made some good points. That's why I'm willing to compromise. Are you sure?
If it isn't the consequences of our own actions.
I don't have a lot of rules. I don't have a lot of expectations for a first date, but I've already set them, and you've broken every one.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. We're dropping you off home.
I would have called an Uber and said, see ya.
Well, I guess I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. I understand where you're coming from.
Holy God. Oh my God.
I'd just like to say for the record before we begin, this lady does not represent all of us women, okay? For the record.
I have never wanted to reach through a screen and pimp slap somebody as much as that person right there. Okay. Oh shit, where to even process this? Okay, so first off, fuck off. Holy shit. Okay, hang on. That thought had so much swearing connected to it. Okay, so it does seem she has certain expectations. Great. This is problem number one. You can't assume somebody's going to know your expectations unless you communicate them. You can't say things, well, doesn't everybody? No. If everybody had the same understanding, there wouldn't be variety of experiences out there. You have to communicate what you would like. So, for example, Aria, which also is a chain restaurant, I believe, because there's some here, unless by chance that date happened to be in Dayton, Ohio, and although I don't think there is a Aria nearest, but Aria is a chain restaurant as well too. If she is somehow offended that it's done at a mall, which it looked like that as I was looking at the background when he was driving away, it looked like a mall, like that's where a lot of Cheesecake Factories are that I've seen. So I'm like, okay, I can maybe see annoyance there, but outright refusal to get out of a car that you don't own, like she locked herself in his car.
Yeah. As he's trying to be a gentleman and open the door for her, which, by the way, does not even happen at all anymore. So for a man to do that, and you locked yourself, you locked that man out of his own vehicle. Like, she didn't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. Look, even if it was near the mall and on the same property as the mall, it's not like it was inside of the mall. Like you had to go through JCPenney's to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he was taking you to the food court.
I guarantee if this is legit, if this was not staged, okay, if this is legit, that man has now gotten so many dates and has probably gotten laid 75,000 times since that chick posted that video. Do you know why? Because I thought he was being respectful, not gentlemanly. I thought he was being respectful. From every conversation I've heard from women who have gone on dates, the fact that he's respectful apparently sets him so far beyond what everybody else is doing. That man is just drowning in pussy, for lack of a better term. I can't think of another way to say it that isn't in any way completely inaccurate, because frankly, the fact that he was willing to talk in a sense of like, okay, we're going to have a conversation in front of others, in a sense of we're going to process this where we are the center stage of this conversation. Oh my God.
In my book, he's a winner. Like clearly, I think by default, like everything he did, how he responded, just let's just say he was extremely professional in this moment.
You think?
It's very shocking because a lot of males these days will like flip off, and the fact that he held his shit together.
Yes, he did. That should be his next job interview. When somebody says, what skills do you bring to this job? Let me show you a 7-minute clip of a date experience I had. And then if you just want to give me all the VP money in the world,
right.
Because if I can hold my shit together in this setting, what do you think I can do in a work setting? Like,
I can teach your whole company patience.
Wow.
And what's crazy, right? Like, it's obvious what's wrong with her. There's a lot of entitlement and a lot of, oh, look at me, look at me. First of all, if you want to go with the look at me, let's go with the look at me. Let's start there. And I'm going to be a little petty because I am a woman I take a lot of pride in my eyebrows. And I look at eyebrows a lot. That lady's brows was not a, look at me, I'm too good to be in a Cheesecake Factory. No, baby. You're not.
She was not displaying her eyebrows. That's
I know, but I'm not looking down here. I'm looking up here, and it's not here, just a smidge up. And they were rocky like she was. I'm just saying, eyebrows say a lot about the person.
Okay. So
in my book.
From now on, I'm not going to display eyebrows in case they might say some batshit crazy stuff that Amber.
I wouldn't be talking to you still if your eyebrows were crazy.
I have been told. So the person who cuts my son's hair, she's a friend of our family. Every time I go to get him a haircut, she goes, "Sit down." Why? Because you have a straight eyebrow that's pissing me off.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got sharp objects. I'll just do as I'm told. I'm too afraid.
I'm
The
just saying, like, I'm a person, I'm open with my shit. Like, I fill mine in because I fucked them up when I was a kid, so they never really grew back right. So I fill mine in. But like I take it very seriously. And that takes talent and a lot of time. And if you just over here talk about, look at these, you should have taken me to Cheesecake Factory. Well, I'm gonna need you to line them up a little bit better. If you gotta get a stencil, they make them. That way you just real quick and they go on nice and clean. But anyway, we're gonna digress from there. But moving forward,
I have very little understanding of beauty tips. So any beauty tips goes to Amber, not to me.
that's as far as you get out of me because all I either do, all outside the gummies are kicking in. The only other thing I do is mascara. That's it. My eyebrows are mascara. So beauty tips you can't really get from me, but
Okay. So
But how I noticed a few of your reactions, especially when she got to the part like, "Look at me, this is embarrassing." How do you really feel about a first date at the Cheesecake Factory? Do you think it's somewhere that's inappropriate?
I so okay. I don't see an issue with it. However, and speaking with my sister in particular, who has been in the dating pool for some time, I could see where it might be someone is taking her to the Cheesecake Factory as though, well, I'm spoiling you. Like they're going into it with an attitude. Like the guy is like, well, look what I'm putting out for you so you can put out later. And it's not necessarily about a nice dining experience. It's about trying to set the scene for what the guy wants later on. Now, that being said, I don't think that's what's happening here. Maybe it is. I don't know what their Tinder profile conversations were like. I don't know. I bet you that swipe was unswiped as soon as unswiping could be unswiped. Because, oh my God, is Cheesecake but that's actually step point 2 of I'm coming to now, because I have point 1 where my brain still is somewhat fucking fried over this. Point 2 is I've never, even when we were married, the only time I would take my wife on a surprise date to a restaurant was if I knew she had already been there and liked it. If I'm going to be taking someone out, I'll say, here are some options of what I'm thinking. What are some of your thoughts on these restaurants? Would you like to go here? Would you like to go there? Oh, maybe you're not feeling this. That's fine. Tell me what you're interested in. Let's see if we can work something out here. So it's that communication from the get-go. Share the ideas. I'm not saying the guy should have, but for my part, I would have said, here's where I'm looking to go. Aria, but if we can't get in, Cheesecake Factory, if we can't get in there, like try to, I don't want to say give an itinerary, but an idea, a plan of what would go. I personally don't see any issue with Cheesecake Factory. I mean, unless they're lactose intolerant, and that's kind of a rude move there. If dairy makes you sick, let's go to a place that specializes in just dairy. Cheesecake Factory, come on. I mean, that's kind of a dick move.
Now, how about now here's what really blew my mind, and it still does every time I hear this video. He waited an hour for her to come get
because and here's the trick as well too. Given the way their conversation went, it did seem like there was some communication in which she indicated work. I didn't think work would run late. That happened. We all get that.
But that whole hour, she didn't say anything.
See, I couldn't tell if she did or didn't, because frankly, at that point, I think my brain had fried to any kind, because I'm trying to see every side of this conversation as best I can. And if she was an hour late, maybe it's because I'm old. They must be young. Because frankly, if it's an hour late, let's just order in or go to, I don't know. No, I don't want to go out because that means I'll have to interact and see people that I don't want to see anyways. And, but that's because I know to go a little bit earlier so I can get the servers before the assholes show up. And because I'm rapidly becoming an old man, God, that's an old man thing. I can't believe I just said that out loud. That's recorded. Fuck, that's never gonna.
I think a lot of that was definitely on her because he had mentioned that the day before
And
he
the morning
confirmed
of.
with her,
Mhm.
and then that afternoon he confirmed with her again. He had already made reservations because he said you came because she was like, I wasn't that late. I wasn't that late. And he was like, you literally, like, we left when we should have already been sitting down. Like, that's a whole hour. That's more than a little late. And so just, and then she said, well, I didn't know work was going to run late. I got home late. But where was your communication and your respect for him and saying, hey, I'm running a little bit late. I don't know if you made reservations. Are we able to move them back? What are we doing? Or something.
And
So
the other part of it too is this is of course a genders conversation going on as well too, because there still isn't equal footing for men and women. It isn't there. Is it better than what it was? Depends on who you ask. I would think it should be more along, but that's fine. One of the defense mechanisms that I see is, and she assumes that she is, for lack of a better term, a princess. Okay. You're not. You're not. You're not a fucking princess.
Right.
Well, this is special. I am not denying that it is. I'm not saying that it's not wonderful. But you are not more entitled to basic human decency than anybody else. And the fact that she seems blithely oblivious to the fact that she didn't show any decency in human interaction. Decency is a vague word. Let me be clear. Let me specify something here. The fact that she didn't treat him as she would wish to be treated. That's exactly what happened here.
Yeah.
She treated him as though he should be worshiping the ground she walked upon. Okay, if that's the case, that's not a relationship. And if you're dating for the purpose of getting a relationship, that's not how relationships happen. She treated him as a subordinate. Now, I can also see that probably didn't come about accidentally. My guess is that there have probably been other times Shia has been treated as a piece of meat, objectified, and has had to erect these defenses to keep it, to protect herself, which also tells me, dear God, men, do better. For the love of God, quit being dumbasses.
Yeah.
But that's still a problem. And wow.
And I do agree that that could most definitely be part of the situation, if not the situation. But part of me, something she said makes me think it's just her mentality that her lifestyle is treat me like royalty because I'm a queen. Like this whole modern women's society, they do think like that. Treat me like a queen. I'm a queen. I'm a queen. Okay, everybody's a queen and king in their own right, but that doesn't mean the world is just going to bow down to you. And something she had said makes me think that's her mentality because she said, oh, I'm a woman to be courted. I get courted. And if you think getting courted is taken to some fancy restaurant and, you know, spent all this money on and getting bags done, whatever the fuck it is that these women are looking for. If you think that's courting, I need you to go pick up a dictionary because it doesn't even make sense. Like, you're a gold digger. So that's not being courted. You're a gold digger. You're digging. And I just, Just because you have big boobs doesn't mean that any man should just do as you say and give you what you want. Like, I think that era is coming to an end. And unfortunately, yeah, men have to take that responsibility on because, like I heard this morning, dude is spot on. And I've been saying this forever. Men created this. For years,
Yes.
they mocked at women with who would shake their ass and wear the less clothes, the girls with the pretty hair. They gawked at a certain style of women, and it made the rest of women insecure. So those ones who said, well, we want attention from men, this is how I get attention from men, and now the men are like, no, we don't like that, and talking shit about it. You created that. Like, you create, and now you got to reap what you sow. And now we have women out here like that, and she's got to be in her mid-30s, early 40s. And it's not, unfortunately, I've seen plenty of women in her age range who act like that.
You're fine. He can't hear you. I can. What do you need?
And it's just weird talking to the back of your head.
Where's Mo? She's sleeping. I'll be out in a little bit. Go ahead. I hear her. Go see if you can find her. Be nice.
There's a lot of women in that age range that really do, I think, feel as though they have to go. It's like a midlife crisis on a male side, right? A man will go buy a fast Ferrari because he wants to show out, or the little dick syndrome or whatever. It's the same thing for women on a women's end. They're out here getting boob jobs and butt lifts and all this stuff and acting like they're too good for a fucking restaurant. Like, I hate to break it to you, but almost every damn restaurant is a chain restaurant. Like,
If strip clubs are corporate, then by God, restaurants are corporate.
Hello.
For those of you who are unaware, that's the fact that blew our mind a couple months ago. We discovered that strip clubs are, in fact, corporate. They are owned by a corporate entity that owns a lot of the ones all around. So, sorry, my head fucking exploded when I found that out.
Right. And especially like they're all named differently, thinking that, oh, they're different clubs. No, they're all ran by the same fucking people.
Just like all the dating apps are run by one company for the most part.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
These are the line I had said earlier of like, it's the consequences of our own actions is when he drives away. That's what this video should have been titled is FAFO, fuck around and find out. Because the reality is this video is the culmination of generations of or teachings that have encouraged this kind of behavior on both male and female side. I do hope, and I think the pendulum is swinging back from the objectification that occurs often from the male gaze. It's not entirely gone. I know it's not. I'm not dumb, but I would hope that it's not what it was and that it is getting better. If for no other reason, no, I take that back. If for the sole reason of, because we're all basic fucking humans. We're human beings. I'm not going to treat somebody as a piece of meat because they look good. If they look good, great. Guess what? Looks fade. I don't care how many fucking times you go to the plastic surgeon. Looks fade. I don't care how old you get. Eventually, you just look old. And you know what? Good. That means you've experienced some life. Because I will say, if she's anywhere in her 40s, I'm fucked. I'm 42, and I never looked that good in my 20s. Like, there's no way that, me at my prime could ever hang with anybody like that. And if that's because it takes all this energy to look all that much, no, that's okay. No, thank you. I don't want somebody who's going to go to such lengths to feel that because because if I'm not a huge fan of makeup to start with. Let me back that up a bit. My stammering might make more sense when I put it this way. I'm not a huge fan of makeup because makeup conceals, makeup hides, makeup accentuates other parts while ignoring other things. Okay, fine. If I like you for your personality and your looks as well too. But I also recognize that your mascara, your makeup, it's gonna wash off. Let me see who you are there. Let me see what that is.
Yeah.
Because that to me matters more than when you decide to, get all dolled up, for lack of a better term. but I've always been that way. Like that's been a me thing from very early. So
I mean, it's funny you say that because I've heard a lot. I really go down these rabbit holes on YouTube of these dating worlds and all these people talking all the family because I want to know what it is out there before I go diving into it and get stuck in that. I don't want to drown in that mess.
YouTube tutorial dating in 2023. Bring a
YouTube
fire
University.
suit because this is a dumpster fire.
Just saying, I'm safe in here. I can shut it off anytime. I don't have to worry about
recharge it when I need to. Wait, what are we talking about again? Shh, don't ask questions.
But I hear a lot of talk about there's a whole gender war going on. Like there's a lot going on in there in those conversations. But these men are talking about how we like natural women. Well, we like women who don't wear all the makeup, where we like da da da. But then it's like, once again, I go back to what I just said a little bit ago, but yet those are the same men that are sitting here gawking on the Instagram models. Those are the same men that are sitting here constantly watching porn and all these girls like with 12 pounds of makeup on. These are the same men that sit here and go and cheat on their women who wear less makeup with the girl with 6 pounds of makeup on. Like, but yet you don't like that? Like, make it make sense. Then why do you have that at home and you treat it like trash? Like,
so those experiences you're talking about there, for my part, on Instagram, if there is, I always said, if I can see where your makeup ends, I don't. No thanks. And it ends here and here. Thanks.
And right here.
Thanks. I'm gonna swipe away.
When you're 2 different shades.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. I saw one lady last weekend, Amber, I swear to God, it was like she just she put painter's tape around her head and then just went with paint. And I made sure I didn't stare because my face would have been like, oh yeah, it would have been like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you going for an androgynous robot that I can't tell what you did? No. See, and that's the thing too. Like and it is, oh, I like a natural woman. And I've often asked people like, well, give me an example. And they'll show a picture of something or someone. And I'm like, that person had a professional makeup artist. Like, they have makeup. Yeah, but you can't tell. Great. So then you're not asking for a natural woman. You're asking for a woman who can do makeup effectively. Okay, right. But that's a different thing than own what you're saying. I like a woman who just wakes up pretty. Nobody does. Nobody wakes up pretty. Nobody wakes up and has good breath. That's not what happens.
And that goes to show Disney got not only the little girls, but it got the boys too. They got the boys with this fantasy of what women should be like. And it's ridiculous. We're not like that. Go look at some fucking art museums. All the women are plump and voluptuous. Like, don't pay attention.
It might also be because they have corsets that are constricting everything as well, too, which doesn't help from breathing.
You don't see what happens behind closed doors.
I was at a Renaissance fair yesterday with a couple friends of mine, 2 of them who are vendors at another Ren fair. So they were in their Ren fair garb, things like that. And she had a button on and she goes, check this button out. And it said, corset is not consent. And it was like, oh, I had, because I wondered how it then made my brain go, how many men take that as, well, you're putting them out there for me to see.
Right.
Really? That cars are on display. Do you go and steal them just because you can, because they're on the market? Well, no, they're locked. How is that any fucking different?
Right, they're locked in the corset. Leave them alone.
Because it took a lot of work to get that goddamn thing on.
That's the animalistic trait in the males.
See, and that's the other thing too. This then gets me thinking. The animalistic side because and I think I shared here about what my rage in one of the other episodes, what my anger did. I don't trust my animalistic side at all. And so when it comes to any kind of dating or sexual interaction, that doesn't do anything for me. I'm too nervous to even explore that very physical side where, somebody's, getting spanked, flipped, turned, all that jazz. So I'm like, no, give me slow and sensual. I'll have a grander time with that than anything else. But that also gets down to a communication question for me, because just because it's what I like doesn't mean it's the best. It means, all right, if I'm with a partner, my job is to make sure that they are satisfied. Okay, just see what I can do that they enjoy.
Yeah.
I can't help but think that if the date had not gone on TikTok, that 8 minutes worth, let's say hypothetically they end up having sex that night, that wouldn't have been good sex for anybody. Nobody would have enjoyed that. Wow. I can't get over that.
I was gonna hold this back and just wait, but we're gonna have to do it, and we're gonna come back to this one because there was a guy who actually pulled the two of them in for an interview because there was a lot of talk going around about, see, that's why I wanted that reaction. I was gonna say,
believe it or not, I actually do have a really good poker face when I have to.
Because a lot of people were saying, oh, this is a skit. This is a skit.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm having a hard time, but I really believe it was genuine just because his reaction and the way he was just like, you can tell he was like taken back. And it was just like, and when the part that really makes me believe this is real was when he pulled out and was like, look, had you just fucking said something in that hour, had you just been on time after I gave you 2 fucking warnings, we would have been eating here. He had a whole itinerary. I wish she would have flipped the fucking screen and show, like, here's our itinerary. But, like, first of all, that's her fuck up. And the part where she had the whole courting thing, that makes me believe too that it's real. Just the fact that she even said that, you have no idea what dating is.
See, and that's the other thing about all this too, is that she brought in the court of social justice, of social media, not justice, sorry, social media, because she was putting all this on on TikTok. She sprung this on him in a way.
Yeah.
She thought that, well, that would shame him into doing well. Okay. If you feel that you need to shame somebody, you've got issues. If you feel you need to manipulate somebody to act a certain way, you've got issues. So to me, the moment that I realized that, no, this is a date, this isn't a conversation, like, this is a date, I'm like, oh, every bit of this is wrong. Every bit of this is wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. And after he was like, she was like, how was I being? First of all, she didn't even say cooperative. She said core operative. If you didn't catch that, that's what I heard.
I did, and all I could think of right there was the Key and Peele speech of the inner city school teacher who goes into the suburbs as a substitute. And my favorite line of all time, which is, "You done fucked up, AA Ron."
Ron.
All I could think of was that. I'm like, God damn it.
She totally did. And that right there alone, this is what the poster people for men and women, right? The ones who are out here with the face, like, giving men and women bad reps. This is one of those. This is one of those. Because if you're going to say, there's a whole little gnat flying around driving me crazy. If you're going to say,
I don't know. You said the edibles were kicking in about 20 minutes ago. So maybe.
No, it's a gnat flying. If you're going to say cooperative, okay, already there's an issue alone. Because if you feel you're too good for Cheesecake Factory, just.
I feel like I should reach out to the guy. Hey, you'll take me out. I'll put out. You can turn the lights off. I'll be fine.
That's just ridiculous. It's just stop hiding your ghetto. Stop trying to hide your ghetto behind your big boobs in a tight dress because
Oh,
it's showing, and it comes out in such a childlike manner. If you pay attention to her facial expressions on certain things when he speaks, like, well, you were uncooperative and you were like, ow, ow. And then when he breaks it down for her, she, oh, well, let's talk about it. This, why are you trying to gaslight this man? Like, he's obviously is already irritated by you. You've shown your face. That's that. I'm surprised she didn't shut the shit down.
yeah.
Because you
She
realize
truly felt
already,
she was in the right. And the fact,
right.
yeah.
And the fact that she was like, I can't believe this. He's taking me home, y'all. Like, he really brought me here to Cheesecake Factory. Why are you so special? It's not like you're the queen of fucking England. You're not fucking one of the princesses. Like, there's nothing special about you. And the fact that you're acting like that, the whole cooperative part really got me, because that right there, after saying that, and I know it sounds petty to say it, but I'm having a hard time articulating it. I wish you could like see it in my brain. But if you're gonna sit here and say, "Look at me," you're gonna take a beautiful woman to Cheesecake Factory. Like, that's embarrassing. What's embarrassing is that you can't even say cooperative, but you want to argue with this man who had a whole fucking scheduled date for you, which a lot of men these days don't even have one thing planned out. They're like, "What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Well, what's up? What do you want to do?" This man literally had a whole night planned. And because you felt you were royalty or whatever, to take your little extra time, what was so difficult about reaching out to him and saying, "Hey, I'm running a little bit late. Work ran over. You know, can you meet me in my house a little bit later? I'm sorry if you're already there." Da 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 da. Especially after 2 warnings.
Okay, so the warning, I want to step back from that a moment. I don't know if it's warning. He did notify, like he did notify. Like there was 2
Okay, well, that's a better word
communications,
for it.
because
But at
warning
this point,
sounds
it's a
like,
warning.
woman, I done warned you. This is what was gonna happen. Like there's
The way
that
she
has
acted warrants warnings.
a couple points. You know, when you said, you know, stop hiding your ghetto, it made me wonder what culture is she. You know, in this case, you're suggesting ghetto, which is what, when we go on dates, how are we hiding what we were in the past, like something that we're ashamed of? Like, is she ashamed of where she came from in a way that she's trying to meet this object of desire in some way that she then is no longer who she is in her essence? Which again, you're lying. Stop fucking lying. That to me, and again, I know I'm rare, and I'm not saying that, you know, look at me. I've been told that because I'm like, give me the honesty from the word go. That's, and if you're uncomfortable talking about something, just say, I don't want to talk about that right now. No problem. I can respect that. But to try and hide who you are, to try and meet somebody's perception of what you think that no, just please be you. Please just be you.
No.
And just the other one is all I could think is, oh, great. Another thing setting back a women's movement. First, they had Roe v. Wade get overturned, and now they have this woman. Because she's not, there are going to be so many of the alpha male community who are going to jump all over this and are going to spin all of what this said here, which again gets into another conversation about the fact that a woman has to be careful about everything she says so that it doesn't get used against her or other women, which is incredibly unfair and unrealistic. Again, that's this whole date, and I think you nailed it, is the example of what happens when you have decades and generations of objectification over actually getting to know someone substantially. Wow. By the way, if that man doesn't get free Cheesecake Factory for life, nobody. Cheesecake Factory needs to close. That man deserves it for life. And for anyone at Cheesecake Factory say otherwise, it means she was their daughter. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe her daddy owns Cheesecake Factory. Maybe he's the president.
I doubt it.
I don't know. Maybe he had a coupon.
I think she worked there. I think she either worked there, maybe she currently works there.
What if she had been there before and made an ass of herself?
Probably got fired. Like,
or she was a patron there and had been asked to leave.
Or that too. Because I mean, look at how she acted that way. Like, if you acted that way over a man that you don't even know trying to do something nice for you, which honestly, any person that I've talked to, if you, and this is me too, you only have about an hour with me. Like, I'll give you an hour grace period, depending on how I'm feeling. After that, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, maybe, but I'm not about to sit around, wait for an hour, and then continue the night with you. And then not only that, like you said, when he was like, she said something, oh, I'm not going, call that place. And that part too, like, bitch, who do you think you are? When she was like, oh, call them. He was like, no. What do you mean, no? Bitch, yeah. No. Like,
when she saw the consequences of her actions, everything changed.
Everything. And the fact that he even took you home.
Again, I would have fucking called an Uber. I'd have said, I'll pay for your Uber, but I'm done being around you.
Get the fuck out. Yeah. Like, why? He didn't even have to take her home. Like, that was super fucking nice of him. Like, I don't, that's where I don't think it was a skit, because I think still in his mind, he was like, I wanted to take this woman out. And he said, my intentions were to keep you safe and to give you a good night. So for him, if those were his intentions, regardless of how the night ended, he was going to make sure that she got home. So that was just a respectful thing to him.
And I have one more thing that I can think of to say. The list of shit that she expects on a date. No.
Especially the first one.
No, this is a date. If we express love for each other, if we get to that stage, then absolutely. Right. You will get everything that you just asked for there. Why? Because that's what it means to love you. But to expect that from the word go because you're somehow, no, fuck you. Fuck you. I don't, that's like saying that to me, and it's not exactly the same, but it's along the same lines of a guy going, well, I took you out to eat. You should put out for me.
No.
And it's just, that logic of that male logic for sex is absurd as her logic for how she should have been treated on the first date. At least in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I'm wrong, I would love to hear how that is, because to me, it feels like the entitlement that she expected to receive is above and beyond what is reasonable, rational, or human for one date in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's my thing, like, if she was really genuine about even having good intentions on dating this man, because I don't even think she had intentions on even like carrying on with this man. I think she was just looking for a free dinner out of it, honestly. And she didn't get the one that she wanted. So she threw her little fit. But if she had any good intentions on wanting to even have a decent evening with this man, she could have turned that around in so many ways. She could have been like, okay, I don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory. Let's find somewhere else, or call that place and I will pay for dinner. Like, what is wrong with that? What is wrong? Because, and here's the thing,
she's being courted.
Well, she's retarded. She's not being courted. She doesn't even know what it means. And my thing, and here's where a lot of women have issues now, because they do feel entitled. And I was told this too growing up. No, if a man asks you out, he pays for it. And my father,
I'm okay with. That I'm okay with.
My father told me this, and I've always stuck with this. He said, if a man asks you out, he pays for your date. Okay. If you ask him out, you pay for the date. And if you guys are having a conversation and somehow it's like, hey, you guys want to go out? Da, 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 yeah, cool. Fucking go. You guys split it.
Split it.
And she could have easily been like, okay, you know what? I don't like it here because I feel like way much like whatever the fuck she felt. Right. She just felt like she was all sparkles and glitter, too much for fucking Cheesecake Factory. And which, by the way, my fucking widow people got me Cheesecake Factory a cake for my birthday when we were in Arizona, when we did the widows retreat. And it would like have this red strawberry sauce. And
Tell
that's
me
how
it
we
wasn't some of the best fucking thing you ever had.
Oh my God, it was fucking amazing. And like, you know how we have the whole thing going on with the cheesecake, the blowout cheesecake and the quesadillas. Oh my God, they're to die for. You know, we got all our dark humor stuff with food. It was great. And I got a video of it too. We're gonna have to post that. Just it was great. Anyway, shout out to fucking Cheesecake. Fuck that lady. She doesn't deserve you guys. Anyway, or any fucking chain restaurant for any matter. She should just not be able to eat anywhere for like the next year or two. Fucking suspend her ass. Anywho, I forgot where I was going with this.
If unless yeah, and that leads to one other question I have is, you know, then there's that list circulated of places that you don't go.
Oh my God.
And you and I were talking here earlier, and I said the only place I can think of to say no to is hang on. Okay. It'll be just a little bit, okay?
But it won't scare you, but I take you to surprise.
In a little bit. I'm not quite done with my meeting.
Might be an accident.
It'll be okay. Hey, I love you.
I'll tell you as soon.
Okay, I'll be up a little bit. I love you. Shut the door. Love you. Apparently something happened in the living room that was an accident. So
That was the loudest part of it, that it might be an accident.
yeah,
Oh.
which means I'm gonna need to go get some disinfectant wipes. Anyways, the question of is then, you know, where would you not go? Where would you not take someone? And as we've gone through this, there's basically 3 places I can think of that I wouldn't take somebody on a first, second, or third date. Okay. The first, well, we'll start at number 3. Number 3, I probably wouldn't take him to a fast food restaurant like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, things like that. That not as a date. That doesn't fit. Number 2,
You guys are out and about grabbing stuff. Okay. But
yeah, yeah. If you're out and about, fine. Also, I think Panera is part of that. I don't think I'd take somebody to Panera on a first date, just unless it's a lunch thing. But generally, no. The second place, and this might be just unique to my area, but you might have others might recognize. I wouldn't take him to a fire hall dinner, like a fundraiser for a local fire company or a police station, things like that, because those aren't for those who know what the term fire hall dinner means, you know that they're delicious and amazing. They're also not a place to take a date. Then the third and the final one, I probably wouldn't take him to Hooters or a strip club.
no, don't do that.
Unless she was bisexual and was somehow trying to wingman for me, which would be weird. I'm not going to knock it, but you know, hey.
I mean, at that point, have you guys talked about your relationship?
Yeah, I say if it's a first date and we've gotten to there, my conversation skills on point.
Yeah.
Or
And
as
I mean,
one kid said to me today, you would have eaten all that and left no crumbs behind. Thanks.
On the second one, I could see if maybe like that was something that you were both into, and it wasn't necessarily like a date, but you know, just an event to go with each other, I guess. You know, just like a test date ordeal, because it's something that you still both do.
Okay.
Am I explaining this right?
I don't think so, but I'm loving the fact that this is recorded and it can be used against you in a court of, look at the shit Amber said. A court of social media.
You know, people say we're shit, so.
Yeah, I know. I just watched a 10-minute video of it.
I just, yeah, I don't know. I just really feel like that lady, she wasn't genuine about the date to begin with. And I feel as though she's looking for something that she's never had. And I think she's kind of in this whole thought process of a lot of women out here. They want They want to be catered to, and they want fine whining and dining. And I gotta tell you, as a married woman, is it even like, I don't know why these women think that you get married and it's all fine wine and dining and it's like a simple soft life and all this stuff, because like it's the complete opposite. Like there's real shit that happens. Like,
Unless
you're
your
fighting
spouse
about,
makes 7 figures, you're never getting wined and
yeah,
dined.
you're not getting that. And I don't even know if even families like that get wine and dine, because they're busy. They may have their vacations here and there. They may have their dinners here and there. But I think people have like this whole idea of, it's like Hollywood. Like it is what it is in the movies. And I really wish they would get out of that if that is the case. And that fairy tale of what a relationship and what a marriage looks like is making people delusional.
You mean
And it,
every Hallmark movie that's ever been made?
oh my God, yeah. Like the ones where you know what's gonna happen and it's just different characters in a different scene. Yeah. It's not like that.
I hate
And this
Hallmark.
video really, I think, proved to this video helps me push out the message of just take 6 months to a year and just sit down and work on yourself before you try and go off looking for a relationship, because most of the time you're just looking to fill voids, and that's just your spirit reaching out to you like, hey, you just need to heal from this. You got to get comfortable with that uncomfortable. You got to step into that unknown, and it's okay. We do it every day willingly. Every day you wake up willingly, ready to go on about your day. But when it comes to relationships and everything else, like people are so addicted to the drama and addicted to the unnecessary and trying to plan stuff that's not for you. Not everybody is meant to have 6 figures. Not everybody is meant to have this lavish lifestyle that, yeah, you can have it, but go create the life that you truly want for yourself. But in order to do that, because you can have the person of your dreams, you can have the relationship you want, you can have a loving and healthy, growing relationship with a solid foundation. But in order to do that, you have to find that within yourself first.
The only time I've ever, I'm never gonna make 6 figures except for this body. It's 6 figures wide. It's really fucking big. It's a big old chest here. It's big childbearing hips. I mean, I'm a solid mountain of a man without the mountain man hair. And I think, but it also gets back to, and the point that came to me at the beginning, and I think based on what you just said there, with take time to heal yourself. Anytime I've gotten a wound of any sort, I know it's sensitive. It takes time. I have to be careful with it. I can't, immediately start doing what I did before. And because if I do, that's where infections hurt. That's where things happen. That's where things get worse. And I think for so many of us, especially within the widowed community, the wound is so deep and so painful that we want to just act like it isn't there. And I get why that is. I'm not knocking anybody who's done it. What I'm suggesting here is maybe you need to slow down. Maybe you need to take a step back. Maybe instead of dating for a relationship, date for a friendship. Get to know somebody as a friend. Go to Panera. Go to Panera. Not as a date, but as a friends. 2 friends getting together. Do that.
Yeah.
And the final point that I have is one that I made earlier. I can't reiterate this enough. Communicate with one another. Talk with one another. Be clear with your expectations and your hopes. Not just your expectations, but your hopes of what might happen. Why? Because you can't expect anybody to meet your needs until you help communicate what they are. If you go to the emergency room and you tell them you don't feel good, they're going to go over a bunch of things to try to figure out what it is that's going on. The more information you can give them, the quicker you get your treatment, the quicker you get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And the less invasive it is. The more you hold back, the less information you're able to communicate. That's where things get more expensive, more painful, more exploratory, and that's sometimes where damage is done. And I think the same can be said about relationships. And whenever you don't communicate what it is that you're hoping for and what your expectations are, then you're bound to get hurt, because nobody can read your mind. We just can't.
Yep.
I think that's a good conclusion. What do you think?
That's great. And I have a hankering for Oreos all of a sudden.
I don't think it's all of a sudden, hun. I
It
don't
is.
think it's all of a sudden. You said about 40 minutes ago why you have a hankering for Oreos.
Well, yeah, but like little Oreos just popped in my head. Like, I think I want some Oreos.
And on that happy note, folks, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again for this conversation. Thank you for being part of that with us. We hope that it, at the very least, was entertaining, but hopefully helped you understand something too. We'll see you
Ooh.
guys later.
Yeah, because we're coming back for round 2 on this, people. See what
Oh,
happened.
God.
Oh yeah,
That'll
we're gonna
be
watch
the
the
next.
next interview.
I need time between this and that one.
Well, it's a good thing we do these sporadic, like every 2 weeks or so. So
Yeah, I don't think I could do that video again. I would lose my ever-loving mind.
I think the next video we even might have to break it up because I think it's kind of long. I haven't even watched the whole thing.